Hello there, what is going on everybody? Today we're going to be talking Ewoks. Yes, I said it, you did not hear me wrong, it's actually Ewoks is the subject of discussion today because Imperial Assault just got a new playmat that has Ewoks printed on it. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing because up until this point, every playmat that's ever been printed for Imperial Assault has always had in-game units printed on it. Either units that are already in-game or units that are about to come out. And as of this point, there have been no new expansions announced for Imperial Assault. And this tells us a couple of things. This tells us either A, that Ewoks are coming out, or B, they're changing the formula and deciding to include art on these playmats that is not going to be in the game. Now, you can pick one of those two, whichever you happen to subscribe to. It seems to me like Ewoks are all but confirmed for Imperial Assault right now. Now, that is a little bit of a stretch because if they were going to announce Ewoks for Imperial Assault, if they were, I think that they would have announced that Adepticon was going to feature also some discussion about Imperial Assault. But as of right now, they have only said that Adepticon is going to feature a forum talking about X-Wing, Legion, and Armada. There is no talk of Ewoks for Imperial Assault yet, but everything could change because we know from at least from previous discussions when FFG announces that there's going to be a panel and it's going to talk about certain games, people will get there and then we'll flip the script and say, surprise, this hyperspace report is only about X-Wing. You know, that happened to us last year. So people might get to Adepticon thinking, hey, they're going to announce something for Armada, and they'll say, oh, well, we changed our minds. We're only going to talk about Ewoks and Imperial Assault. So, I mean, that could happen. I don't think they'll go that drastically. I'm exaggerating a little bit because it's kind of fun to exaggerate sometimes. If we rope it back in and we talk about what actually could happen now, we're probably more likely to see an expansion announced for Imperial Assault sometime, maybe either during Adepticon or after Adepticon. It could happen maybe between Adepticon and Star Wars Celebration, or it could actually happen before Adepticon. We still have a few weeks, so it's possible they'll announce something like that before Adepticon and maybe even field some questions on it during the panel. Now, this has a lot of implications, and we can also kind of infer that this is going to happen not only because they printed Ewoks on this playmat and that it's an Endor-themed missions, but it's also telling us that they have commissioned art for Ewoks and art that they are using in Imperial Assault. And usually they aren't going to just, you know, assign art assets to a game that they have no plans of using whatsoever. Although, granted, there have been background images in the art that didn't always go somewhere. Sometimes they lead somewhere, sometimes they don't. This happens a lot in games like X-Wing, where you'll see your close-up of your ship, and in the background you'll see another ship, and maybe that ship shows up in the next wave, but maybe that ship never shows up, and you're kind of like 50-50 on those. But this is feature artwork of an Ewok. And there's tons of other characters they could have chosen. They did not have to go with an Ewok. If they wanted to go Endor themed, they could have literally picked any other character that was at the Battle of Endor. Han Solo, Leia, Jedi Luke, C-3PO, R2-D2. They could have just chosen anybody else that was at the Battle of Endor and gone with it. But they chose Ewoks. Now, people have been crying out for Ewoks for a long time. It started out for some people as, no, we don't want Ewoks, they're too jokey. And I think people have softened up a little bit. And honestly, I think Imperial Assault has gotten to a point where it probably doesn't need a whole lot more expansions. It does need a couple more, I think, key characters. Like, it doesn't have Yoda. It could probably use Yoda. So I could see maybe another expansion coming for Imperial Assault that has Yoda, Ewoks, maybe Agent Kallus, something like that. And I could see some... There's a few openings on things that could fit. And of course, the diehard Imperial Assault fans probably have a lot more to add than I do. I have never been really a diehard Imperial Assault fan, so I can tell you that there are some openings, but I think you guys out there that do play Imperial Assault probably have a lot more things that you would like to see beyond just playmats. And this is actually a big shock because at Gen Con last year, it was asked about Imperial Assault. What are you guys' plans for Imperial Assault? And they said, oh, we plan to continue to support the app. And that kind of left everybody thinking, oh, so the game's dead now, you mean? You're only going to do the digital stuff. I mean, and dead is not really an accurate word, but that was like the reaction. I started to think it was not going to get any more product. But then, like last month, you know, we see new product for Descent. And I'm like, whoa, I thought Descent had been dead for years, and all of a sudden Descent gets new products. So that just goes to show a game is never dead until they say it's dead. So, and of course, they are very forthcoming. They'll tell you it's dead, and oh, we also have another expansion coming out next month, so make sure you buy that too, even though it's dead. You know, so they will tell you when a game is going to die. So, Imperial Assault, not dead, probably getting Ewoks, at least getting another playmat, and then an OP update talking about new map rotations. So that all is coming out for Imperial Assault. What does this mean for other games? Now, I don't think this means anything for X-Wing or Armada. Could you imagine Ewoks in space? No. Can't imagine that. All right, so that being said, let's think about what this means for something like Legion. Legion is definitely, you know, a candidate for things that happen in Imperial Assault to also follow in Legion. I would absolutely love to see Ewoks in Legion, and I'll tell you why. I want Ewoks as a core unit. I want them as all different types of units. I want them as support also with their little traps and things like that. Ewok trappers would be amazing for a support. But I want Ewok warriors as a core unit because I want to lead a whole fuzzy army with Wookiees as special forces. I gotta have 3 cores. So if I do my Ewoks to fill out my core, I can probably fill up most of a list. I'm gonna somehow need some type of hairy commander. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get that, unless they re-release Chewbacca as a commander at some point, or come up with some type of alternate rules. I don't think they're going to give an Ewok commander to the game, and so it means I'm going to have somebody who is fuzzy as a commander, and I just don't have many good options for that. You got Han and Luke and Leia. I think Han's probably the hairiest out of all of them. Although old Luke is, you know, pretty bearded. But yeah, I'd probably go Han and Chewie. That makes the most sense. And then, you know, a whole bunch of little fur balls. And that would be really, really fun. And I would love to get Ewok supports, Ewok gliders, you know, Ewok trappers, Ewok warriors. I want the whole Ewok shebang. Probably won't get the whole Ewok shebang, but I think it would be really fun. And another reason I think that would be really fun to see in Legion is because look at your different... There's like 3 different climates for Legion: sandy, snowy, and the one that started it all, jungle. Or those are the 3. Basically, it was like Jeddah or Tatooine, kind of like Lothal, that kind of sandy, light brown kind of terrainscape, the green of Endor, and then the white of Hoth. Those are the 3 that are like prominent throughout the game as far as the different locations that they're like inspiring units from. And so we've kind of got all the Hoth stuff announced already. And so I'm like, well, all right, so, well, almost all of the Hoth stuff. I think probe droids possibly are still out there. But Ewoks would really go a long way to flushing out the stuff from Endor, because we've got so much other Endor stuff. It would be great to get a really, really flushed out Endor inspired build. And you could maybe make the argument, well, Ewoks don't work on any other kind of jungle planet. I don't care. I will put Ewoks on Hoth. I will paint them all fuzzy with snow on them. I'll do some cold weather Ewoks. I think Ewoks would be a lot of fun. It's not my dream unit. My dream unit is still a Gungan army from the Clone Wars. Definitely hoping to get that at some point. But in the meantime, Ewoks could find their way to Legion. Love to hear what you guys think about that. Do you think Ewoks are coming to Imperial Assault? Do you think Ewoks are coming to Legion? If Ewoks do come to Imperial Assault, what else are they going to bring with them? It's not going to be just an Ewok expansion. It'll probably be a full unit of Ewoks and then other things that go along with the wave, because Imperial Assault comes in waves. My money is definitely on Yoda, and I'm thinking Agent Kallus. If we do Yoda and Ewoks are probably not going to be scum. I mean, I just don't think so. Unless there's some kind of rules where they can work for multiple factions. I could see Ewoks maybe working with scum. Because, again, they did try to eat people at the beginning. They did capture Han, Luke, and Chewie. They did try to eat them all. So you could make the argument that Ewoks might go in scum. And then, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying one way or another for sure. But that might be a one way to balance things out. But we'll have to see. I think it would be really, really exciting to finally kind of get that joke unit that maybe means we'll eventually see a Jar Jar Binks commander in Legion. The whole fun aspect of it, like my inner kid is like exploding right now. The tactical side of me is like, well, maybe that won't be the best thing to bring to a tournament. But from the fun factor and from just painting little fuzzy Ewoks, I think that's a great idea. I would love to hear what do you guys think? All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you would like to, I would love it if you would click the subscribe button. I have giveaways going on all the time. Another one will be starting up soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.